is the Prevalent Risk Governance podcast, featuring conversations with today's top C-suite executives and practitioners who not only look at third-party risk governance, but push through the boundaries to protect data. Now, here's Prevalent CEO Jonathan Dambrot and third-party evangelist Brenda Ferraro.
My name is Brenda Ferraro. I am the Evangelist and Senior Director of Networks at Prevalent. My background is in financial healthcare industries, where I started my career about 16 years ago with a focus and a passion on third-party risk governance.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Dambrot. I'm CEO and co-founder of Prevalent. Started the business 2004. Prevalent started thinking about a podcast when Brenda and I actually were working together on a couple of conferences talking about third-party risk topics. And we talked to a number of different C-level executives as well as just industry experts around topics pretty much in every risk area. And we said, we really need to do something around, create a radio show or a podcast that would allow us to bring on speakers and drive different topics and make sure that we were, driving thought leadership in the space together.
Creating a podcast for Jonathan and I was a top priority because sometimes the topic can get a little dry, and it was important for us to bring some healthy conversations in a fun format for people to be educated and learn on how to become more economic and take different approaches and techniques towards risk governance.
Plus, I think there wasn't anything else out there. I mean, every time we look for really interesting podcast topics around risk management, they're just not available. So we wanted to create something new and fresh and make sure that it was as modern as our solution.
Be the new Fred and Ginger of risk governance.
Are we Fred and Ginger?
Is it Fred and Ginger?
I don't know. Fred and Ginger's a little bit of a leap for me. I kind of trip on everybody, but that's all right.
I'm more clumsy than you.
So what's going to make the show interesting is the fact that we're going to mix this up with different speakers, different topics, ranging pretty much on every type of risk management topic that you can imagine. Our episodes are going to range from third-party risk, fourth-party risk, continuous monitoring, things that are really interesting to people in the industry today, and make sure that we cover them with the leaders in the industry who are at the top of their game, really driving these solutions and these types of conversations for the community. So this is really to help the community think about some areas that we know are top of mind, and we really want to play that thought leadership role.
I'm really excited about the podcast and the lineup and what's going to be of interest to the community, because having chief information security officers from the very get-go of the first one to leading edge thought leaders that are going to be able to bring different techniques and tools and ways of building talent, because this is such a hot area for a career. That's going to be a critical spin for us to play and make sure that others can have the capability of learning from those that have already tried and to go out and venture together in the unknown for solving problems of tomorrow.
The other hope is that we learn, right? As much as we want to make sure that this is something that the community enjoys, I think we wanted to make something and build something that we knew we enjoyed, and we enjoy these conversations. Brenda and I talk about these topics a lot, both in her previous life and her life and career here now at Prevalent. We talked about these things on a daily basis, and it's really nice to be able to talk with the leaders about how they think about this. And I believe and expect that the community is just going to love it.
It's really fun watching the industry grow, because there's so many different pockets within the financial industry and the healthcare industry, the retail, the manufacturing, and all of them at our different levels of maturity in security practices. And helping all of them to learn from each other is going to be very fun and interesting to watch, so that we can make it so our data is protected with all of the different vulnerabilities that are hitting us every day.
Yeah, we have a big mission. And, I think if we can come across and really help people drive a different thought process around certain topics, this really does have, to Brenda's point, a direct impact on healthcare and the health of our families. And, looking at how the direct impact, whether it be financial services and people losing their credit card information, and how impactful identity theft is, or cybersecurity more generally around some of the topics we're going to talk about. For us, it's a big mission, and one that, we hope that people will think a little bit differently with this podcast.
And what we're seeing in today is that assessments are being done very well at the front end. They're gathering data, they're identifying what the risks are, but taking it to the next level and mitigating those risks and helping companies mature in their security space so that as we're developing those techniques, I use the word techniques a lot. I'm going to have to figure out another one.
No, that's a good word. That's a good word. That's a good word.
Got it ingrained in my head in 2016. But just making sure that the companies, as they're maturing and they're taking those security practices and controls and making new ones as the threat landscape changes, is going to be critical for us to stay protected.
When you look at the third-party risk management problem and then you look at how we're trying to tackle it, we believe we need a new operating model to solve this problem. Prevalent is continuing to invest and develop into that operating model with a different economic viewpoint as well as a different software and threat intelligence viewpoint to really drive this down.
Thank you for listening to the Prevalent Risk Governance podcast. Connect with us on Twitter, Facebook, and visit us at prevalent.net. You can also rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts.